Good night. Good night. Good night. We are live. We are live, and my name is Lucia Cabrera Jones. And tonight, I am going to be the host of this awesome interview. Let me just give Facebook some time. Let me give Facebook some time actually to notify you that we are live. And if you are there already, if you are one of the early birds catching up this live, I want you to right now tell me where are you tuning from. Let me just send greetings to you. Tell me where are you tuning from, and of course, I am going to check here on my phone to make sure that we are live here on our page. I want you to start to say hi. I want you to start to tell us where are you tuning from, and I want you to start to call all your female entrepreneurs, those who already are into the entrepreneurship lifestyle, all those who are upcoming entrepreneurs. Awesome. We have with us Jason Bramble, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. Awesome. We also have with us, okay, Emanity. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Yes, from San Fernando. Pinal, oh my God, Pinal is in the house. I want you to keep coming, keep coming. I want you to share this because, guys, our first interview, I was the interviewed, actually the guest. I mean, it was awesome. It was amazing. Oh, we have more people tuning in. We have Rhonda Glimpse. Oh, Rhonda from Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome. I just give you Facebook just one more minute before I bring up our guests, and let me tell you something. If if the first interview was good, wait until you see the guest that we have for tonight. I mean, we are going to talk tonight about defeating all odds, awesome transition, a successful transition from the corporate world full time, completely 100% into entrepreneurship. I mean, you will agree with me that you have to be real brave. You have to be real brave, especially as a female, because this month of August, our Chican campaign is dedicated to uplift, to empower, to encourage, to recognize, to support the spirit of entrepreneurship of our females all across the globe. And of course, we started right here home in Trinidad and Tobago. And I don't even want to take too much time from the time of our guests. I want you to get comfortable. I want you to get a glass, as she put in the post today. You could get a glass of wine. You could get a cup of tea. Get your bottle of water. But I want you to be comfortable because tonight, guys, we have in studio with us someone that I have known for a number of years. Yes, and I was just in shock to see how this lady made this huge transition because I know she was someone so successful on the corporate world. And all of the sudden I seen my girl that I'm about to bring up to you all on her entrepreneurial glare. And I am talking about none other than Mrs. Candace Monique Magloire.
Hello.
Good night. And just to tell you guys a little bit about Candace, because I want to give her the opportunity to actually introduce herself more. Candace is a certified MH consultant and style coach at the CMMA group. So, Candace, I want you to start tonight. I mean, I welcome you. You look lovely. You actually, walking the path of your business, of
I
your
am.
entrepreneurial career, looking awesome, always well put
Thank
together.
you.
But I really want you to start by telling us tonight
Mhm.
how you get into this. I mean, I know you was doing so amazing into the corporate world. What Candice was doing and why Candice decided to do this transition. Tell us a little bit about what happened during the transition, and of course, what are you doing now?
Good night, my darling Lucia. Good night, everybody that has taken the time to join us here on the live. It is indeed a pleasure being here with Lucia. As she said in her introduction, we go back years. I mean, almost a decade. I've known Lucia, and we have been very close. And it's just an honor to be here, to be on her platform, and to see the amazing work that she's doing when it comes to women and building up women, because that's one of her passions. And as she indicated, that I have been, when she met me, I was in the corporate space. And yes, have been a professional within the telecoms and ICT sector for over 20 plus years, right? So that should give you an idea of my age, even though I don't look it. So, black don't crack. So, and one of my very dear business coaches actually joining us here on the live, Miss Rhonda Glynn. And she always says this, which is to tell your story. And I am happy that I'm on the platform, because when Lucia asked me to speak about my transition from the corporate world into full-time entrepreneurship per se, I've never really told that story of how it actually began. And I'm hoping that if I am able to bless at least one of you through what it is I'm about to tell you, at least, it gives you that inspiration to really never give up and really to keep towards pushing towards your passion and really fulfilling your purpose and knowing your why in terms of why it is you're in business. So being in telecoms and ICT, I've always known that I wanted to move out of that industry. How I was, going to do that, I had no clue. And so I used to work in TSCT, which is the telecommunications provider, main telecommunications provider within Trinidad and Tobago. And I took the visa package, but right after that, a couple of months, one of my customers hired me as their senior operations retail manager. So it was just going from telecoms from one end of the scale, facilitating customers, to actually being a customer in the same telecommunication space. And it was during that time I had a wonderful time working with that particular organization. However, there was something more that I wanted to explore. Now, I've always been into fashion, in the fashion space, because my foundation comes from my grandmom. My grandmom has been, well, God rest her soul, she was a dressmaker and a fashion designer. So that is where that love for fashion and that love for style started. Now, I cannot sew to save my life. However, I knew that had to be something more than fashion and styling. There had to be something where, a basis or a platform or foundation where fashion and style derive from. So while I was in the corporate space, I started to do research on image consultancy and what image consultancy entailed. Now, everybody used to tell me, oh my God, Candace, you should really go into styling and fashion. And I was like, okay, I know that because my grandmom is a seamstress. She used to make my clothes. So obviously I would dress appropriately and accordingly in a certain way. And then coming from a strict background, you always have to dress in a certain manner. So I never really paid it much attention. But then when I started, when I moved into the organization after coming out of TSCT, it just, the Holy Spirit just started to talk to me, but I still did not pay attention to it. However, I still did research in terms of image consultancy and everything like that. And I found a couple of courses outside of Trinidad and Tobago with institutions that really got into the fundamentals of what image consultancy entails, what the industry is about, and what are the services that can derive from image consultancy. Still didn't even pay any attention, but there was something within being in that corporate space that happened, and I started to go into deep prayer and fasting, and that was in 2016. That started in November, I think, if I remember correctly. And I started because I really wanted to do something different. I had no clue what I wanted to do. I was not even thinking image consultancy. At the time, I wasn't even thinking business or owning my own business. I just knew I wanted to get out of telecoms. And
Awesome.
yeah, and for 3 months, I prayed and fasted. And then I started to get certain visions and dreams. Now, for many of you, or for those of you that are here, um, when I speak about that, that is when you talk about your relationship with God, I knew that there was a Heavenly Father. I knew that there was a divine being that was taking care of me, but I found that I still needed to have control of certain things and certain aspects of my lifestyle, and not giving and surrendering full control to God. So in that prayer and fasting in those months, God started to very slowly deal with me as an individual and me as his daughter. And I then made a decision to resign my corporate high paying job.
And that is powerful. That is powerful. Just sorry to cut you across.
That's okay, that's fine.
I love how you have this guidance, this divine guidance, because I always tell people that our purpose is always divine.
Yes.
Our purpose is always divine. And Candice, you have been talking, about all of this introspection that you have to do, all this prayer and fasting, all of this. But I want you to tell us what how this transition really happened, what it took from you, what was the feedback of the people who actually praised you at some time for your achievement in the corporate world, how that hit you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when it is I decided to resign, persons were shocked. My managing directors and stuff were shocked. But the thing is, Lucia, I still did not know I was going into business. I knew I did not want to be in telecoms. There was nowhere in that particular, and that was in 2000, April of 2017. All I knew is that I wanted to get out of telecoms, and I had a bit of savings. I didn't think anything of business at that time. And I said, well, okay, I'll just get another job and see how that flows. Now, please, I'm telling persons now, do not go and quit your job just like that. All right. As I told you, I prayed and fasted for over 3 months. So this decision that I made was not haphazardly. I really needed to be one and have get that relationship and develop it with my Heavenly Father, with my Maker. And Lucia, I didn't even do the course of the image consultancy in 2017. It's only when I resigned that God started to deal with me as a person, because he needed to get me right. And I needed to be able to get to a place of full surrender and control, because God will tell you, once you're obedient, God doesn't tell you the full plan of what is going to happen.
Oh no.
You have to be obedient in terms of he doesn't show you all the steps, but you have to be very close to him and be very aware of what it is the Holy Spirit is speaking to you, so that you know what is the next step ahead. And
And
as I said, I did not know that I was going into business. And I was still looking for a job. And guess what? I was getting no work at all.
your faith was being tested, I will say, at that moment.
No work at all. I was a qualified individual. I was in senior management. I have wealth of experience. I have my degree in media and communications. I have certification in other supervisory skills, and I was getting no job at all. And I was like, God, what the hell is going on? Didn't you tell me to do this? And silence. It was in 2018 when I was contracted by Cantu. That's when I said, let me get into actually working towards getting my certification in image consultancy. And it was in September to October of 2018. That's when I did my certification in image consultancy. I took my savings, what bit of savings that I had left, and I really poured it into that. And I knew it was God because the course that I had signed up for canceled at the week before I had to leave to do my course in Atlanta.
And this is one of the things that I wanted really to ask you. Why MH consultancy? You had a lot of things to choose from.
Yeah.
Why MH consultancy? But alongside with that, Candace, I want you to tell us a little bit about that spirit of entrepreneurship. Our campaign, our She Can campaign, is actually to boost that. You know, you have been talking about you don't having a clue, but still trusting God. You know, you're talking about you have to actually put things in place. You have to fix yourself first, you know. But tell us a little bit, because I want to believe, and I have experienced that even in the middle of all of this praying, fasting, we have that fear of fail. We have that fear that, you know, maybe you was thinking so many people out there, so many women trying to position themselves. Tell us a little bit about that entrepreneurship mindset that actually allow you to be successful today.
Well, I always wanted to be in business. Always wanted to own my own business. And then you asked me why image consultancy. Again, from my grandmom, I wanted to let her name be a legacy, the Magloire name be a legacy. And that was the driving force to me going deeper into what she had started. She had started from a dressmaking point of view. I wanted to expand on that and elevate that to more than just dressing and styling, but to more of having a proper image that would now reveal your authenticity and reveal you as an individual and be the best representation of you and you becoming the best version of yourself. So that is why I really geared towards more so the image consultancy side of it, because I already had the foundation from my grandmom and I wanted her name to live on through what it is that I was doing. And I always, as I said, I always had a passion for styling. I always liked it. As I said, I didn't know that I was going to be in a business such as that. But I found it very interesting and I wanted to learn more. I wanted to challenge myself, especially that what I
Tell us
started.
about that challenge. You know, you
I
now
wanted
give me
to
a clue. Challenge.
I
That is
wanted to
a key word.
yeah. I wanted to challenge myself because I wanted to change the status quo that was taught to me and taught to many of us, especially those persons coming out of being born in the 70s slash early 80s, that our role and goal and stage in life is to go past common entrance. Now it's SEA exams. Then you go to secondary school. Then you get all your subjects. And after you get all your subjects, then you do A's. And once you do A's, you go to university, get a degree. Once you get a degree, you go on probably to do your master's. When you get your master's, then you would look for a job. Then you get a good job. And then you start from the ground up and work till you get to management. And then when you get to management, you retire at 60 and then your life begins. No. I wanted to change that mindset. And it was a struggle for me because what had to happen is that I had to unlearn a lot of the things that were taught to me, still maintaining the foundation, but now adopting what it is now is that we are now, the world of work has changed and the world of work is now very diverse. And it's no longer this cookie cutter way of how we were taught. And from that is what has been able to push me and defy the odds of even my parents per se, of what it is, especially of being the eldest, what it is that you have to do in order to be successful and to look successful, not only in your family, but in society as a whole. So me jumping out of myself, saying, that, okay, saying that, yes, I'm going to follow God and have no clue what it is I'm doing. I'm just learning as I go along. Yeah. I'm learning as I go along, and I'm picking up certain things as I go through this journey, and I'm talking to God and I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm still developing me as a person. And that is what God needed to use to develop me and to develop my character for the business that I'm in, because my authenticity has to shine through for my clients and for persons that I'm, for example, yourself, friends like you, my business coach like Miss Rhonda Glenn, and for all those that are in my tribe and community. They have to see me showing up in my best self, right? Even there are days when I don't feel and I'm demotivated because I still don't know the end result of this, but I know that I am called to a purpose, right? The Bible says that your gift and talents will make room for you. Miles Monroe and Simmons
Awesome. Yes,
always say
definitely.
that, right? And I've always been a person, and Lucia, you always talk about this as well. You always talk about Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain. I've always been someone that has been journaling. I've always been one that has been writing. So I have been doing vision boards way before. And now it's executing and bringing this vision to fruition, bringing it to life and executing it, and not stopping in the middle and say, gosh, this is too hard. I need to go back into corporate, right?
And
So,
that brings me to my next question.
mhm.
How have you developed that resilience? I mean, as a female entrepreneur, and I want everyone, I want to remind you that this is a space where we welcome males also, as I say before, but we celebrating this entire month, we are celebrating our female entrepreneurs, because I know it is not easy to have a business. It is not easy to get your image and your brand out there, but being a female, I mean, it adds some more stress to it. And you talk about something, and I want to ask you what it took from you now as a person. We have been seeing how God really have to step in, but now
Mhm.
Candace, in this process of changing your mindset, what you actually have to tell someone that is right now maybe thinking about, okay, I am stuck in my corporate life. I want to actually transition, but I still don't have the courage. What do you will tell someone in that situation, like right now?
Know your why. Why do you want to get into business? Why do you want to transition from corporate into full entrepreneurship? Right? Because it's going to take work. It's going to take you overcoming fears and barriers that you might be the only person within your family who would have crossed that, or who would have been, set your mind to do that. So you have to know your why and ensure that your why is aligned to purpose. And that is why it's so important for us to have that conversation with our Heavenly Father first and foremost, because if you do not know your purpose and your why is not aligned to your purpose, right, then it is easy for you to get lost, and it's easy for fear and doubt to take over. And reason, notice I said take over, because even in our spaces and our sectors, Lucia, fear and doubt steps in, but we are able to, because of our foundation in Lord Jesus Christ, we are able to push and keep on pressing in. But we don't want where you have that fear to completely overwhelm you, and then you recede and you back out.
Yes.
So, you really need to know your why. You really have to know that you are going to, in this journey of entrepreneurship, that you are going to be looked at with a magnifying glass. And let me tell you why. Because as I said in Netco's presentation for the Entrepreneurial Week, that there are persons who are going to be looking at you and commenting, but there are also persons going to be looking at you and not commenting, right? So it's how you are going to show up and how it is you are going to give of yourself. It is going to either benefit someone or it's not going to benefit someone. And
And
go ahead.
and not cutting you across, but you just give me a next, because we have someone in the audience actually
Yes.
asking about that, and you just gonna hit that in the nail, because we have Soma Business Solution asking, what is your purpose in this new journey?
That's Miss G. That's my business coach. My purpose is really to, as I always say, and Lucia, we were talking about this before we went live. My purpose is to let persons know that revealing your individuality through who you are as a person and through your clothing, that is what it is that I want to impart and to educate and guide people on, right? And I know that I have a passion for it, and I know that when it is I speak, you would persons will get that. Really understand that image consultancy is not just about styling. Image consultancy, it's really an industry, right, where you are able to have so many diverse services coming out of that. And from there, seeing image as more than just the clothing that you wear, but it's a mindset change. It's revealing your authenticity. It's really becoming into who you are as a person in the present, and how that person in the present is going to transform and translate into who you are into the future, and to be able to grow and elevate and enhance yourself. So really and truly, my purpose is to really teach persons that this is not about, for me, it's not about makeovers. I am not into making over, because making over is just one shot, it's just one thing. I am talking about lifestyle changes that you adopt daily, and you are intentional about making these lifestyle changes to not only better you, but in better the clients that you serve and the people and the businesses that you interact with. So I hope that answers Miss G question. That
Well,
this is my purpose.
if it doesn't answer her, at least it answer me, because I always say that, and I say that even when I was interviewed, that our purpose, it no longer is for us.
Yes.
Our purpose, we leave our purpose, our God-given purpose, for someone else. And I believe that is why, even when you were saying that you didn't even know what business you was gonna do, you didn't, because I mean, I know you were so successful in the corporates, and I have been working along with you in different projects, and you always you live your career. You know, I never see you trashy. You always all well put together, well combined. But that also, not only your clothing, but that is also displayed on your personality.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad that you make that, you know, that clarification, because people thinking that image is just about how you're going to appear. It is not
Yeah.
just about how you're going to appear, it's how you're going to interact also. And I really, 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 I really love how you bring it across, you know, to clear the air,
Yeah.
because you know, uh, I want to believe that you have encountered clients that actually feel that they are ugly, you know. What you have to say about that? Because to me, every single woman is beautiful,
Yeah.
right? And I always tell people, the inside is for God to change, but you
Yeah.
could work on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, what is your advice, especially to entrepreneurs? You know, because entrepreneurs are people that make things happen, right? And the first impressions always last.
Yeah.
So when you actually trying to promote your business, I always tell people you are the image of your business. You not selling your services and products. You selling yourself, right? Because once people buy into you, they will buy anything that you sell. You could sell eyes to a skimmer once you present yourself properly. So, what is the message? What is this encouraging message for those entrepreneurs that have a lot of talents, but they don't want to come to the front because they find they are not looking like those that we see in the billboards?
Mm. So you said a lot there, Lucian, and I'm so happy that you said that. Now, it's not only now we understand that it is this month is for women and it is a she campaign, but it's also for men to men and women. Male, I service both male and female clients, and they are, and just so I'm going to go in terms of how it is you broke it down in terms of persons not feeling good about themselves or how it is they look or they're not confident. They listen, all of us, including myself, there are certain parts of our bodies that we are not comfortable with, that we don't like. And what I always tell clients within my sessions with them is that what identify, not to focus on what it is that you don't like about your body, but what it is that you do like. And if it's going to be your eyes, if it's your hands, your legs, use that to accentuate. Use your clothing to dress your shape, not your size. You're dressing your shape. A lot of us think about our size. We want to be a size 2, but we're not a size 2, we're a size 10. And we want to dress in a size 2 and not dress for our and we want and not dress for our for the size where we're in. So let us take size out and dress for our shape, and using our clothing to ensure that we dress appropriately, again accentuating what it is we like about our bodies, and then concealing the parts that we don't like. And we do so appropriately based on the respective aspects or different parts of our lifestyle, be it our jobs, be it our business, be it our ministry, church, and how we integrate with our family and our peers. Yeah. Now, when it is I have sessions with clients, they always talk about, I don't know how to dress myself. I don't know about style. I am just basic. Guess what? All of us, whether there are some of us that know our style, that know it off the bat, but there are some of us that really don't have a clue. That doesn't mean that's not within you. We all have a sense of style within us, it's bringing it out, getting into the inside and bringing it out on the open. And that is what I try to work with you to guide you. What are those key little elements? It could be the simplest thing, right? How can we take that and now we build upon that and we create that signature image so that you are standing out and you are the best representation for you, your brand, and your lifestyle. So when you are stepping up and you're showing up in your best self, right? You always have to be the best representation of you. And you always have to be representing you in the present, not who you were yesterday, not who you were 2 days ago, not who you were 5 years ago, who you are now. And then from there, you are able to now transition and transform and transcend and elevate for years to come. Because the style that you're in now, let me tell you something, in 2 years or 3 years to come, you're going to be liking something totally different. But it's it's understanding. So, for example, last year you was wearing fitted clothes. This year you want to wear loose clothing that is free and loose on your body, and you don't want no fuss and feel, but you still want to add that flair and pop up. You have not changed. It's just that now you have evolved to something else. I'm going to use Miss G as a example. She has been in the corporate space for years upon years. And now that she has transitioned, took early retirement and transitioned fully into business, there is a total shift of how Miss G would dress when she was in corporate, in suits and tailored suits and everything like that, to now being, as I told her, she looks regal now. She looks like that ebony, tall goddess that is coming into her own sense of style. Not that she didn't know it before, but in a different realm that is now suited to the person she is now. And we need, and again, it comes back to intentionality and then having fun with it. Because as you said, Lucia, before people see the brand and the product, they need to see you. So
Exactly.
you need to show up.
Exactly.
As I told one of the delegates or the participants in Monday's Netco session, he was like, I just want to stay in the background. Why do you want to stay in the background? Entrepreneurship is not for persons who wanted to recluse themselves to the
Say it
background.
louder.
Entrepreneurship is not for those who want to recluse themselves in the background. It doesn't matter. Listen, when you're offering a product or service to a client, your product and service will speak for itself. But now that the world of work and entrepreneurship is now on this digital landscape, and COVID has accelerated that digital, transformation. So now everything and any and everything is now in your face. Social media technology has taken, and we are now in a hybrid world where we're now doing virtual events and in-person events. You need to show up. People need to see you. So even though you have this awesome product, if you are dressing shabbily and not appropriately, that is going to affect your brand.
Yes,
So
definitely.
always be intentional of how you show up. It doesn't matter if you're a quiet person. There is that element of you that is going to shine through, which would also integrate to the product and service that you provide. So guys, let's not try to meld into the background. Let us start to show up. As I always say, show up and show up. I mean, show up and show out in executive presence, power, presence, and pride. Yeah. So I
I
hope.
absolutely love it, love it, love it. And guys, let me tell you something, huh? I really have to thank Candace, even for the way that I am now presenting myself to the world, because it wasn't always like that. I
Mm,
remember when now Candace started in her transition, she was doing her courses and what's not. I remember I was one of her students. I mean, I was one of her projects. And I mean, and it was fun. It was fun
it's
because
real fun.
I remember I didn't even know that I could have wear this green that I wear today and still, accent myself. I was
Yes.
always somebody, as you say, move away from the black and white and the gray. Move away from the
We
black
will get
and
to that. We will
the
get to that.
gray. You know, and I remember, that's why I really wanted to have her tonight, because she has so much to share. I mean, the time would not permit, but I remember and she came with all this chart and all these things. And I mean, I am an engineer, but that was looking like Greek to me. But when she finished doing this consultancy at that time, we hit the mall. We went and shopped and picked up
Hmm.
some pieces. And
And we had fun. We had
I
so
was
much fun.
amazed at how she put together these colors. And today I'm glad because I actually move away from the black and white. I actually wearing bigger accessories. I was like
Yes.
kind of, and I really, really, I really thank God, because her entrepreneurial career have also impacted on my image. Even my natural hair, she have been a awesome inspiration for me to actually be rocking my natural hair with pride. And this is what entrepreneurship is about. You know, it's about making a statement with your career, making a statement with what you do, how you could inspire someone else, even without saying a word.
Yes.
When we decide to follow all these people on social media, I mean, we only looking at the outside. Sometimes they talk, but as you well clarify, image is even much more than that. And I am
Mhm.
so glad, because we have so many ladies in the life. And I mean, I'm glad that you also deal with males, right?
Mhm.
Because it's an awesome topic. And for me was like, wow, from telecom to this, how this really happened. But I am glad that you took that at that time of introspection,
Yeah.
that spiritual time, to actually examine yourself, because people might song it as a cliche,
Yeah.
but trust me, for you to be certain of what you really going into, God have to be in it.
Yes.
God
For
definitely
for
have to be in it.
1000%.
Right, so and I
1000%.
really really love it. So even before we kind of in the closing, but before I give you the opportunity to give us your closing in what it is your message, because I want you to tell us a little bit. You have been involved with women
Yeah.
with our organization. That is, we have been doing many things on the background back since 2020 when the pandemic. It's just that now we decided, we have been seeing so many talent buried. This pandemic to me was double intention.
Hmm.
I mean, beside all the bad things, it showed us that we have talents.
Hmm.
Every single one of us have an entrepreneur inside, because when we lose our jobs, those who lose the job and they have to actually go into survival mode, they started to develop businesses that they never knew they had these talents.
Hmm.
Or maybe they knew they have these talents, but now the survival mode have to kick in and they actually have to unbury those talents. And I was like, no, you know what? We have to take this now to the next step.
Yeah.
We have to put the organization together. We have to send this message across, because our mission, as I said before, is to actually deal with those multi issues that female facing every single day.
Every single
But we
day.
have to use multi-strategy approach, and our issues are many, female facing many issues. And one of the things that I love about female entrepreneurship is that once we put our heart to something,
Hmm.
it must happen. I mean, entrepreneurship in itself is yes or yes. The idea come,
Yeah.
and we are going to find a channel, we are going to find a way to materialize. And this is what women is actually about. We want to discover those very talents. We want to bring alive those dead bones talents. We want to speak to those upcoming entrepreneurs. And we who already have walked this road, I want us to serve as caution to bring
Hmm.
them up, but also to network amongst each other. At times, I always say the times for selfishness entrepreneurship is over. We cannot afford that, because we living in the end times.
Yeah.
So many of us basically living in survival mode.
Hmm.
And what is going to make you survive actually is that entrepreneur that you have inside of you.
Yeah.
Becoming an entrepreneur give you more to add, more to add to your household, to your family, to your friends, you know. Yeah, and look, I see here my good friend Key Lewis Clark. Candace sold this so easy. You spoke to me, girl.
I
Yes,
am so
and
happy.
that is what this place is about.
I
I
am so
always
happy.
say, if the message could reach and transform at least one
One.
female, we
Just
had
one.
accomplished.
I have
We had
accomplished what it is
accomplished
I set
it.
out to do. Yep.
And
And
as
I
you
told you
also
that.
mentioned, Candice, there are some who watching and comment. There are some who watching and not comment, but they still watching.
Come
And they're
on.
still being transformed. So I am so glad. So I want to give the audience just 5 minutes. If you are
Sure.
here with us right now and you
Ask
want to ask
questions.
Candice
Yes.
any questions,
Any question. Come
about
away.
her entrepreneurial career, if you want to stress in anything that she have said, if you have any comments, if you anything, I mean, if you are here with us and you still have some times to share this life, uh, hey, we have a powerhouse fashionist, MH consultant. She talk about MH signature. Oh my goodness, I have learned so much, and I'm
I am
really
happy.
glad that you actually say yes to be with us here tonight. And I want to see some questions coming up
Come on.
before I could actually start kind of to wrap up. I want to also um, because here is all also about networking. I want to put up for you actually Candace. Oh, we have our my good awesome friend Stalin, and I really have to
Hi.
commend. I have to commend this male figure in this platform because let me tell you something. I have known Stalin for a number of years when I was doing other businesses. You know, I've
Yes.
been over 10 years in network
Yep.
marketing and what's not. And if I ever met a male that really supports female entrepreneurs from the heart, is this gentleman.
All right.
I
Okay,
really
Mr.
want to
Shepherd.
thank him, who also connect women with some powerhouse ladies, that you cannot miss this. The upcoming interviews will be packed with amazing ladies cheering. I trying to get Stalin. I hope I could get him and
Let's.
other males
Mhm.
because it's the month for the females, but we welcome our males. When
Yes.
you see a male who actually from their heart is committed to push through the work of female entrepreneurs and understand us and coach us and mentor us, that is to commend.
Mhm.
So here you have the link for Candice business, the CMMA group on Instagram. You could follow her. You could share your posts. You could have your appointments also with her. If you want a rebranding of your image,
Both
come
on
come
Instagram
on.
and Facebook. Both on
Yes, reach
Instagram
out
and
to her.
Facebook. Yeah.
You could send me the link and let me post the link also on
So,
Facebook, because this is what women is about.
yeah.
This is a platform for us to connect. And I always say, I said all the time, there is never enough room to deal with women issues. We have Trisha Baltasar, Candice Magloire. What if you are on a budget? Good
Or
question.
good question. Now, if you're on a budget, those two wonderful doors in your bedroom call your wardrobe. You can open that closet because a lot of us, especially women, think that when it is we talk about we need to find clothes to wear, we automatically think I need to purchase new clothing. No. All we need to do is go back to the closet. Get into your closet, open it out, and we need to do an inventory. What are the clothes that are still there that doesn't represent you now? So that means you need to edit and purge and declutter because as the Bible says, you cannot put new wine into old wineskin. That means you cannot expect to create and develop a signature image while still keeping the old you there. So getting into that closet, getting into that wardrobe, getting an inventory of what it is you have now, scaling back, the editing, decluttering what it is you don't wear, and then identifying what are the items of clothing that you have now. You then can create capsules. So let's say you have skirts, you have blouse, you have jackets. You can create capsules, and from those um, leftover pieces, right? For your day to day or your every aspect of your lifestyle. And then from there, that's where I step in to help and guide you as to identifying what are the other articles of clothing that you would need, not so much so now, but in the future that will now be able to be integrated into your closet, that will be quality pieces that will last you and you will be able to get cost, your cost per wear um in years to come and still be able to give you that and develop and build your signature image, and you are able to dress with impact. So it starts with your wardrobe. Do not go and do a shopping spree, buy things, and then you end up in the same old mode of going through the same old run of the mill that, okay, I have no clothes, but you do have clothes. It's just what it is you doing with it, right? So Trisha, I hope that helps you.
What is
And
helping me right now also?
yeah, you have to edit, you have to be able, and then you buy key pieces. So for example, if you are a person that only wears pants, pants every single day, and you want to be able to create a versatile wardrobe, guess what you need? Don't you need skirts? Don't you need, or you need different types of pants to create different looks? Then you would, okay, what are your outer pieces? What are your inner pieces? Right? That you have. Your inner pieces will start with your blouse, your shirts, your camisoles. Your outer pieces are your jackets, your blazers. That's more so for men, your sweaters, that sort of thing. And how can you now use those pieces to create different looks, right? And then do you only have, and I'm glad we came to that, and I'm glad Trisha raised that, because now it comes down to your, what is in your color. Guess what? Black and white are not color, people. For those of you who thought that black and white are colors, they are not. So I hope that you had a pen and a paper and you wrote that down. Black and white are what are referred to as bases that develops the gray scale. Sorry, I didn't take my color wheel so I could have showed you, which develops the gray scale. And from that, that is where your primary, your secondary, and your tertiary colors are built on, which gives you the different gradients and hues of color. So that's where your pastel comes from, because you're adding white to it. And then you, where you get your darker tones and hues, that's where you add black to it, and you have the different gradients because of the gray scale, because you're adding black and white together, right?
Ladies, and we get, I mean,
And
we
this is
get
for
a
men too.
piece
This is
of
not only for ladies, this is
consultancy
for
for
men.
free. Awesome.
All right. So
So,
you also, so if it is that you're a person that in your closet you only have black and white, guess what? You need to implement some color. You need to get implement. And also, do not be afraid of prints and patterns, right? Don't be afraid of that, because that is now going to create and elevate your look, just another level. And then when you start expanding yourself and you get more comfortable, then you start about mixing different types of prints and different types of colors. So you go, I mean, you just have fun with it. As I said, some people know already their style, so they just want to go with that elevation. But some of us, we need that nudge, we need that push. You understand? Or that holding
definitely.
hand, and I'm that person to hold your hand to guide you and take the baby steps to reach where you really want to reach. And that is the thing about image consultancy. Persons think that an image consultant is only a person that deals with personal styling. No, an image consultant is not a personal stylist. Personal styling is a service that is provided out of the industry of image consultancy. And image consultancy gives a holistic, and I think one of the participants added that it's a holistic approach in terms of how it is you show up and how it is you reveal your individuality. And that is what I guide persons to. I guide persons to how you're bringing the inside out, and how that manifests through the garments that you wear. And then you see, when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you are showing up in your best self. And once you start to
Awesome.
practice, you put
I
it.
love,
Mhm.
I definitely love this. I had enjoyed this interview. I love it.
Yes,
I
I'm
love
so
it.
happy.
And we get some nudge there for free, guys.
Yes.
Gents and ladies. So in our last 5 minutes, Candice, I mean, I want you to tell us something about us women as an organization. I mean, you have been now showcasing this organization. What you have seen women, in this period of time that we are actually decided to come live for the people, for the world to know about what we have been doing back since 2020. How you have seen the organization, how you have seen what we have doing, what advice you have for us, what would you like for us to address? Tell us about
You
us
put so
now,
many things in
women.
there. Now, this organization, Women Network International, it's even though it has now started, it has made waves throughout the short time that you all have launched. And it's so amazing how you all have just been growing and bringing in and featuring not only female entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs on a whole. And I think we need that. Lucia, when we were speaking, um, before, we indicated that this is going to be a community where we are able to share. I'm going to speak for Trinidad because I can't speak for the whole Caribbean. You know, we have a tendency to try to hold things in our corner and not share because because we are so too afraid that, you know, you're going to take what it is I work hard for, and you're going to take my clients. And my thing is no, because listen, guys, the persons that are on this live and who would see it and who will partake in it after it's posted, there are key things or there are key talents and gifts that you would have that I don't have. I can speak to image. I'm passionate about it. I have a foundation. I know what it is that I give and I teach. But for example, video editing, I'm not savvy in that. There may be somebody in this community, a woman, a male, that will be able to give that resource. And this is a community where we want to be able to seek out those talents, seek out those gifts, and be able to network with each other. So we work hand in hand. One person, as I have seen, again, she's on this live, she know who she is, and I always call her First Lady Miss G. She is also very, very, just like you will see her, strong about building female businesses. She's a business strategist coach, and she is very, very keen on moving women and empowering women to become the best version of ourselves and to also build community. And I'm so glad that persons like Miss G and persons like yourself with through W.O.M.E.N Network International, bringing in the men, because we need the men. We need the men with us too. We need our brothers. We need our men to be that strength with us too, because guess what? Yes, we are independent women, but you know what? We need help. We can't always do it on our own.
Of course.
So I want to see more men coming up to the forefront, more men helping us out, more men guiding us. Let us be partners in this moving forward. As I said, COVID has changed the dynamic of work. It is the world of work. It's not going to be how it is when we were growing up and we were taught. The millennials and the Z generation has changed it. They are no longer staying in corporations years, right? They're not staying the 30 and 40 years that our parents told us that we need to. 1 year, 2 years, that's it. I'm moving on to the next thing that is going to bring me money. So what we need to do is secure our foundation, but also develop and learn from them what they are doing. And then we ensure that we have a holistic brand and a holistic view of how it is we go through this entrepreneurship of work. Because in the next few years, there may not be anything called corporate anymore. There may just be, full entrepreneurship, and then they will create a different name for it. So you know what? We are not starting late. We are starting at the right time. Let's continue to build community. Let W.O.M.E.N International just be that beacon that would, get everyone together.
Let me just say the women-owned media and education network, and that is what we are about. Yeah. That is what we are about. So time, we run out of time. We are actually 32 seconds more, but that is okay because we enjoy the topic. Very dynamic topic, very dynamic conversation, very dynamic guests, and all of us have benefited from this interview. So. I am sure that you will be getting some questions, people contacting you, for more.
No problem at all. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I'm here to guide.
I really want to thank you, Candace.
Thank you
for saying yes to this interview. I mean, I want to thank all of you who have been an awesome audience. I thank you for your comments. I thank you for your questions. I thank you for your interaction. And this entire month, look out for something every single day to empower our female entrepreneurs. We are going to do interviews every Tuesday, every Thursday from 7 to 8, and every Sunday of the month from 5 to 6 p.m. So mark your calendars because we come in with some powerhouse females. They come in and tell us about their entrepreneurial stories. They come in and tell us about how they make it against all odds, their transitions, what they doing. They come in to empower us. And of course, we have some males also on store for you. So this have been an awesome hour. Women on Media and Education Network is
Internet.
all about entrepreneurship, the spirit of entrepreneurship, building communities of entrepreneurs. So thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you, Candice,
you.
and you
You're
guys,
welcome.
ladies and gents. Enjoy the rest of the night. Look out for all our posts tomorrow. In our post, there's a link. If you want to be part of this initiative, just pull out that link and you will get information from us directly to your email. And being part of this community, guys, being part of this initiative is everything. I mean, people sometimes they get scared because we don't asking for money. We asking for your time, for your contribution, for your ideas. You know, we asking for your contacts. Tell everybody about this community. Tell them how they could get value within this community, because this community is designed for you.
Yes.
Enjoy the rest of the night and you all be blessed. Bye bye.
Bye.